Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Cancer in mid-August 2019. Hello, Cancer. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, Cancer, end of summer is just around the corner. How's it going for you? How's your summer been? Hope it's been fabulous. Mine has been acceptable. It could have been way worse, but it could have been a little bit better, but, you know, I'm really not in the position to truly complain, so I'm not going to. All right, guys, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. We'll shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Excuse me. Once all the cards are up. Once all the cards are lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box below. You can go ahead and click it if you choose. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. You simply follow the steps. But if you do have a question before you place an order, you can email me at the exact same address and I will answer you as soon as I can. It's usually a day or two. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff YouTube allows you to do. Let's go ahead and get you an outcome for mid-August, Cancer, all right? Let me see Cancer's outcome in mid-August 2019. Mid-August 2019 outcome for Cancer, please. Please show me. There it goes. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Nothing came face down, so you're having, who had all face down? Aquarius? Taurus? One of them. But yeah, all face up, so all the cards are on the table, so to speak. It's kind of the vibe I'm going with. When I see these all up or all down, it's kind of like things are in the forefront or things are totally sort of in the shadows and not revealed. But yours is pretty much out there plain to see, so that's energetically what I think would be going on, but let's double check, shall we? Please show me where Cancer is in mid-August 2019. Please show me Cancer in mid-August 2019. Please show me. Okay, thank you. Ooh. All right. Interesting. Okay, guys, so I've done the mids for, I think I started them in March or April, so I don't really know. But I'm not sure if I've ever done a double in one position in a 4-card spread. It's not feeling like a triplet in the normal sense. If you've been with my channel, what I usually call a triplet, which is this little triangular shape we have going on here. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a separate storyline or if all positions play with each other. We'll figure that out. But that's a long way for me to lead up to say, you start here in the base of the triplet with these 2 cards, right? And I cut my nails, so I can't pick anything up. All right, Cancer, coming in, you come in with the Ace of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords. All right, so with the Ace of Pentacles, we would be looking at new opportunities. We would be looking at fresh starts, yeah? Fresh and dewy and oh so gooey. But just like something that's really plentiful or just a very bountiful opportunity. You know, a lot of that is coming from that being a bunny there on the Ace of Pentacles. Bounty, plentiful, just a really abundant opportunity, or something that could really, for lack of, well, not lack of, but to kind of piggyback off of this idea of rabbits, is like it could multiply, it could expand, yeah? And that being just out there in the ether somewhere for you. It's got some legs, it's got some practicality behind it because it is pentacles, it's not cups, it's not swords, which are a little bit more abstract. So there's something that you want or that is around you that's possible, but 9 of Swords right next to it, you're worried about it. Keeps you up at night. You're anxious about it. Perhaps you have a lot of desire in you, but you don't know what to do with it because, you know, a lot of times the aces can just represent ideas or points of inspiration, or it would underline a certain need or a place in your life where you're looking to plant a new seed, where you're looking to see an opportunity grow where maybe there wasn't any before. I think for most of you, it's it is anchored in the real world, quote unquote, whatever this opportunity is, whatever it is that you're seeking with that Ace of Pentacles. I think it's definitely as real as you could, you know, sort of go out and maybe in your backyard or maybe to the pet store, you could see an actual rabbit. Like those, it's not, you know, something that you, why am I saying this? Oh, because in this deck, you'll see other animals that are like harder to see. Like right there, those are lemurs. Unless you live in a certain area in the world, you're not going to see lemurs walking outside your house. But where I live and where a lot of people live, you could walk outside of your house at a certain time of day and you could see a bunny like in the bush. Or like I said, you could go down to the pet store and see them. So there's this commonality, or there's this reachability with this Ace of Pentacles. It's not far off. It's not far-fetched. It is only, though, a possibility and an opportunity or a chance. It's not guaranteed. And so because of that lack of a guarantee, because you know, sort of the stars have to align, or things have to sort of happen in divine timing, or, you know, you are holding up your end of a bargain on something, but somebody else has to do their due diligence and they have to sort of, you know, hold up their end of the bargain. It gives you this anxiety. It gives you this sort of like quiet panic, or like this woe is me. Maybe not woe is me, but there's a worry there. There's concern that the opportunity will slip through your fingers, right, Cancer? So as the starting point, I feel that you're doubly optimistic. I feel you're optimistic with that Ace of Pentacles because you recognize where the opportunity is. You recognize the chance. You recognize what you have to do to sort of plant those seeds to kind of lay that foundation. You're recognizing it. You're probably already working on it. If there's something you actually have to do, if this is, as it's Pentacles, maybe you have to do something with your money, invest, save, spend it here, cut this spending off, but then start investing over here, whatever you're doing. Many of you are already in the midst of doing that. The worry is the payback, or the worry is, will it work out in the end? That's, you know, the $1 million question, right? Will it work out in the end? Is all of my investment, will all of my efforts be for naught at the end of the day? So I don't know why I like that for you. I don't like that you're worried. I'm not like over here applauding and, you know, being happy that you're feeling anxious about this, but I like that you're recognizing, you're like able to connect the dots, Cancer. You're basically doing simple algebra, or even simple arithmetic. 2 + 2 = 4. If I do this, that happens, then that other person does this, then, you know, Bob's your uncle, and that's it. You know? So you're able to sort of plot the course here, and I like that aspect of it. The anxiety and the worry, I think that's part and parcel of your personality, or just what the situation, you know, especially if you're having to depend on other people. You know, sometimes people aren't dependable, or sometimes people flake, or sometimes people's circumstances change and they no longer want to be invested in whatever you're invested in. It does feel very shared, whatever this Ace of Pentacles is. Again, it could be something to do with your finances or career, or something about expanding in those realms, or like I said, planting the seeds of something. So again, investments. Maybe you're looking to go and be a backer in a business, and you told your friend, you told your cousin, you told your mom, you told your dad, hey, listen, this is going to be such a good idea. It's going to help this guy over here. I believe in his product. I believe in whatever they're doing, blah, 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 blah. And maybe you have sort of expectations of other people's actions and how that benefits someone else, you know. So it's kind of like, maybe in some of your cases, you're a middleman. You know, this person that you're trying to help, you've known them since whenever, or you believe in their approach, or you believe in their business model, whatever it is, and you're just like there to help them, but you want to bring in other people to kind of help them, and not in a pyramid scheme kind of way. I'm not feeling this is being shady. I really feel, from your point of view, Cancer, you believe in what you're doing, you believe in what you're pursuing, you believe in what you wish to see expand and grow and become more abundant. But because other people are involved, or because it's not, you know, an inked deal, no contract has been signed yet, nothing is finalized, there is a chance that it could fail, or there is a chance that it might not work out in the way that you wish, okay? So a little bit of a panic, you know? I'm not sure if you're supposed to do anything with that other than to, you know, work through it. But what else is going on here? So little bit of a panic, but you feel confident in what you're working towards. Yeah, okay, and that would make sense. So down here on this line, you know how I was just talking about, like, you know the person that you're backing in that specific example. This could apply in different areas of your life. It's a general reading, guys. Some of you, this is business. Some of you, this is family. And some of you, this is love. Some of you, this is just your own personal inner workings, and you're working on developing things within yourself. But for that specific case where I said something about someone that you know and you're backing them, I've got like that coming from this Six of Pentacles energy, where now we see, you know, here we have two solitary animals, the bunny and the fox, right? And that kind of is interesting. The fox would hunt the bunny, right? In the natural habitat situation, foxes absolutely chase down bunnies. So here you are being worried or overwhelmed or somehow feeling a lusting, like very anxious and wired up, like tense energy is in the fox energy concerning that very supple, very full, very abundant, and, for lack of a better word, like juicy opportunity that is the rabbit. Okay, so this is very much just you by yourself, okay? Or at least the emotion of it is your own. Now, across the way, like I was saying, Six of Cups with these two lemurs on it. So now we get into see what we're talking about. There's a significant partnership here for you, Cancer. Again, could be business, could be friends, could be family, could be lovers. You know, this could be a love situation. Okay, now I see what's up top. Okay, so it's probably going to turn into a love situation later. But so it could be any type of significant relationship. But I feel like it's coming from the way back. You know, the Six of Cups does talk about nostalgia. It talks about childhood. It talks about early memories or early parts of your life that you recall with love and reverence, and you feel warm and fuzzy and cuddly inside when you remember this person or you remember this relationship between you. Now, what does that mean? Again, friends, family, people you've known your entire life, you know. It could be ex-lovers for some of you. It could be ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives or husbands or whoever. And then, of course, for some who believe in it, it could also harken back to past life relationships and past life ties that you have with a person. Soulmates, karmic partners, whatever you think of or believe in. Plug it in if you choose. But right now, how it affects you, Cancer, is meeting in the middle. It's very important for you and this person to meet in the middle, especially from your point of view, Cancer. Cancer, you often give a lot of yourselves, even if you don't necessarily express that all the time. You're always wanting to give 110% to someone, whether that be in a romantic sense, whether that be a friend or a family member, it does not matter. And so I feel there's this need, or there's this underlining of the reciprocity for you. You know, Cancer, there's something here that has warned you not to give too much. Maybe that's that anxiety. You know, maybe your anxiety is kicking in because you normally do go the extra mile for this person, or go the extra mile in whatever situation we're talking about, right? And maybe something is telling you, no, don't overstep. Do not go past 50%. You have to let other people or this particular person meet you in the middle, yeah? So equality and equity are important here. Reciprocity is important here. What this other person is doing, it might not appear to be 100% 50-50 to you right now. And it might not be that in reality, because one lemur is holding like the bouquet of flowers, and the other one is kind of like, am I having those flowers too? Are we sharing the flowers? So there's this question of, what are we doing here together? How are we going to combine our forces, combine our energies, combine our resources, whatever we're talking about, and kind of make this partnership work? Now, again, if you're being the middleman for someone in terms of a business sense, trying to find other investors or backers for your friend or your colleague or whoever who's trying to start in on something, and maybe you're also involved financially somehow as a partner or a silent partner, whatever it is. Some of you are realizing you can't do the legwork for them. You know what I mean? If you're putting in $5,000 of your own personal dollars, and they still need another, $30,000 from whatever investors they can find, you're reminding yourself, or at least I would hope that you're reminding yourself, it's not your job to get that person's business off of the ground, whether you're a silent partner or not, whether you are a great, good best friend from childhood, lifelong BFFs or not. It's not your job to handhold for them, Cancer. And I don't think I'm telling you anything that you don't know, or anything that you haven't come to a realization for yourself recently. I think that you've really drawn this line in the sand on your own tendency or your own desire maybe to overstep a touch. Okay, you're really reining yourself in and saying, no, Cancer, they need the extra money, or they need the remaining 30 grand. They'll find it on their own. I've asked my friends, I've asked other people that I trust or I know would be interested excuse me, in backing this person. And if these other people outside of me don't want to help them, there's not much more I can do. So, one second. I have done a lot of talking today. Oh my gosh. So if you've reached out to other family and friends and they're kind of giving you the pass, or they're saying, oh, maybe, and they're thinking about it, there's not much else you can do. And if your potential partner, whoever they are, old-time friend, previous lifetime partner, whatever you believe they are, I don't feel that they're not doing anything. I feel that they are working in their own interest or for their own best interest. I don't think that they're putting all of this responsibility on your shoulders, okay? Yeah, I think you're just being really cautious and mindful about not going too much over that line, of past 50%, If we're going to be partners, if we're going to be buddies on this, if we're going to be lovers on this, if this is, like I said, this is probably going to turn into a love thing when we get up here. You're just like, no, meet me in the middle, or, and it's not even demanding. I feel you're more reminding yourself that. Meet them in the middle. Meet them in the middle. Don't go over that line. Don't do too much. You can't do someone's work for them, basically. Yeah? Which is nice. That's healthy. If you're, and this is not to bag all Cancers and say you're all, in this martyr complex and you're all playing heroics and you're all of you are always going the extra mile. No. Some Cancers are douchebags and they just would never do anything to help anybody else but themselves. So no, that's not to, give a big ego boost to any Cancers out there. But I think for those where it applies, you're definitely being super conscious about not going further than what is expected of you, what would be fair to you, right? Okay, that's why. I'm like, what is fair to you? Justice, right above, right? So, yeah, what is fair, what is balanced in this situation, that is, sort of, I feel all things kind of point back or latch back into this Justice card. Major Arcana also for Libra, so some of you might be dealing with a Libra, but you don't have to be. What is fair, what is balanced? That is like sort of the anchor for everything else that's going on here. You have a lot of cards that are speaking of equality or speaking of having things be balance between yourself and another person, or one side versus the other, in whatever situation we're talking about. Now, additional to justice, we could be talking about legal systems, so there could be, this thing about feeling anxious and feeling unsure of something, or knowing that something kind of hangs in the balance or something isn't necessarily finalized yet. That anxiety that is experienced there in the Nine of Swords could be linked back to some kind of legal hang-up, so legal fees, having to have, paperwork properly filed, having to have access or be given clearance on something, trademarking, patent approvals, things like that in terms of business. Now, in terms of love, and the overlap of business, we could be talking about marriages. I'm not seeing cards speaking specifically to marriage except the Justice card, but because it's surrounded by the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, which we'll talk about soon, we could be talking about the legal union between people. Now, I don't know at what stage that would apply to you. Are you engaged? Are you married already? Are you getting a divorce? Whatever, I don't know. But the idea is that you meet the other party, again, in the middle. So you want to get married? they've been kind of, you know, showing apprehension to that, or showing, I don't know if I think we should spend this much money. Like, it could be, you know, financial reasons they're holding back. But whatever it is, you want their side to be properly weighed in and measured. You know, Cancer, you're really, I feel that you're really not wanting to steamroll anybody here. This Justice card is one of the most symmetrical depictions of the Justice card out there, in my opinion. You know, you could slice it down the middle and you're going to get almost the same image on either side, right? So it's super symmetrical. It's super balanced. That's your interest. I want things to be fair. Again, not to put Cancers on some type of pedestal here and give you some kind of martyr complex, or fill your head and thinking you're like, you know, the best thing since sliced bread. Some of you are, some of you aren't. Let's just be real here. Everybody, we're all humans, yeah? and that will shift and change on any given day. But in this reading, in this moment, Cancer, you're very much about 50-50, right down the middle. We meet, we bring our best selves to the table, we bring our top-notch resources, our top-notch qualities to the table, and we blend them together to make a better product, to create this new opportunity here with that Ace of Pentacles, or to at least act on the opportunity, to act on the chance and the possibility, yeah? Justice can also talk to communication and truth speaking. Interesting, truth speaking, sure. But just this expression of truth and the expression of realness, or the expression of all the details, you know, leaving no stone left unturned, yeah? Things coming out of the dark. And I said that because all these cards came face up, so things are being revealed, all right? So if this is a business transaction or a business relationship, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get all the legal mumbo jumbo out here on the table. Let's bring in our lawyers. Let's bring in people that are going to be, you know, heading the financial aspects, and the people that are doing the PR stuff. Let's all see what's going on here. Nobody's left in the dark. Nobody's misinformed here. Okay, Justice might be blind. But that's because you know, the idea is that justice and lawfulness is applied evenly and universally towards all people involved. Yeah. Anything else? This purple. What's the purple about? This is like a purpley. It's almost like a lavender color. And I'm not big on like color theory or the meaning of colors, but it's giving me like that feeling of like a tender love, like a crush. So for some of you, this is not about a union in a marriage or divorcing or anything. It could just be the budding beginnings of a relationship. I'm kind of getting there. Which again, would kind of speak to it. Opportunities here, maybe with someone that you've known for a while from your childhood or earlier parts of your life. Or again, that past life thing is coming through really hard. Someone out there is like past life, and you really believe in that. Whether or not your partner does or your potential partner does, I don't know. That's not really important. But it's this idea of like fresh start with this lavender thing. Oh, and that would make sense, fresh start, because for some of you, this person is from your past, whether it's your lifetime past, like previous lifetime past, or your past is in this fresh start, newness, like let's try this again, or let's try this for the first time. We were just like flirting when we were teenagers, but now that we're in our 30s, let's get down to business. Let's be real adults about this and pursue a relationship, yeah? And it's really tender, very sensitive. You are very sensitive, or they are very sensitive, or the balance between you is sensitive. Like it's almost like a Jenga tower. You know, it could fall over any moment. If like one little brick goes askew, the whole thing falls to the ground. So there, and that would give you that anxiety, yeah? But considering everything in total that's around it, Cancer, I'm going to say odds are in your favor. Not for everybody. Statistically, you just can't have everybody succeed, but many of you will see this go the distance or go to a place that you want, which with the Two of Cups right above your starting position, which is, you know, in your mind, in your consciousness, is about union. Okay, here we go again. Very symmetrical, 50-50, meeting of the minds, literally, with these two cats going head to head there at the eye line, okay? So, It's very important to you, super important to you, Cancer, that you and this person, or you and whoever, could be a team of people, could be, more than two people, but everybody here puts in their fair share and is recognized for who they are, right? It's not really showing, but this is the impression I get, and I forget what they're called. Sphinx cats, aren't they? The hairless cats, like the hairless domestic cats, basically naked. Okay, so I'm getting like this not extra, but like this overtone of vulnerability here. Pardon me, with this Two of Cups. You want to bare your soul. If this is a love situation, you want to bare your soul to this person, and you want them to bare their soul to you. This is like some, not Romeo and Juliet in the sense of what happens in that story, what happens in the play, but Romeo and Juliet in the sense of like the undying love, the professing of the love, the what light by yonder window breaks, or whatever the hell he says to her. It is he, right? It is all whatever, all that shit that they do over the balcony scene. I've read that thing like once. But like it's that type of exposure that you're desiring, especially in a romantic situation. And in the other situations, it's there too, but it's kind of a weird thing to be like, make me this oath in a business sense. It's, if this is a love situation, like you're talking oaths. And again, back to the Justice card, marriage, oaths, vows, that's all there. So the profession or the professing, the professing of your vulnerabilities, or not even necessarily vulnerabilities, because the Two of Cups, being that it's just cups, it's all of the emotions. You want to be an open book with this person, and you want them to be an open book with you. Is it reciprocated? It seems that a lot of this reading is about balance. I think that this person meets you where you are. I think this person is just as interested as you are, but I'm a little tempted to say you might not recognize it, because that Nine of Swords, it's not the biggest detractor here on the board, but it is significant because it's in your mind, and it stays in your mind, and it plays over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in your head. So the doubts that you have, the fear that you have, the insecurity that you have, Cancer, is very prominent. Is that thing that plays over in your head, is that reflective of reality? I don't know. I'm kind of doubting it's not. Wait, that's a double negative, I think. I am doubting that it is. There you go. I'm doubting that whatever is playing out in your mind is actually matched up or aligned with reality. Because 1, 2, 3, you have 3 cards that talk about meeting together, of this side coming up to the line, and then that side coming up to the line, and then you really enmesh, and you really kind of come to an agreement or an understanding or some type of union, yeah? Outcome, yours is going real quick. Outcome is Two of Pentacles. So here we go again with balance. Two of Pentacles. So as an outcome, this indicates some type of decision needs to be made. It is the next increment from the Ace of Pentacles, so you get to move from the Ace to the 2. So in many of your cases, again, not all, guys, because statistically it's just not possible, but in many of your cases, you're going to see something come from the seed that you lay with the Ace of Pentacles, okay? And they want me to say this because I did just use seed that you lay. It is a rabbit. I did talk about plentiful and bounty and all that kind of stuff. So some of you, this is about pregnancy. Some of you, it could be a union that is spurred on or coming together because of a pregnancy, okay? And you guys know I don't resonate with children that much. Oh God, and right, and this is a card of childhood. So yeah, okay. For some of you, this is about pregnancy. This is about bringing children into the world, or doing right by the children that are already existent in your relationship, something like that. Now, going from the Ace to the 2, we get to this point of now we have to really kind of really focus ourselves, yeah? Or focus. This is when the planning starts, like the true planning, Like when you have the Ace of Pentacles to kind of keep with that sowing of the seeds or planting seeds, right? You kind of, you go out to the backyard or you go out to your garden or whatever, and there's a plot of land where the soil is that you're going to plant these seeds. Some don't sprout, some begin to sprout. And so the Two of Pentacles is like that first time you go out to the garden and you see things begin to sprout. You see that some things sprout, but then they suddenly grow weeds, or a critter comes along and it takes it and all this other kind of stuff. So this is like when we start to see, okay, we know that the ground is fertile. We know that the soil works, or like, this ground will give us the plants or the flowers that we desire. Perfect. Now we have to get strategic about it. All right, so now I have to keep the little rodents away, or the insects away. So now I have to do insecticides or any other type of more natural ways of keeping vermin out of your garden, so to speak. Yeah. So then you do that, and then you're like, okay. And it took about a week and a half for the first thing to sprout. So I think I should water it maybe like every other day or every 3 days. You begin to think of the ways to make that ace go even higher, to the 3, to the 4, to the 5, to the 6, and so on and so forth, right? So this 2 is saying we've gotten a little bit of a sign that says we're on the right track. Now, how do we remain on the right track? Yeah. Two of Pentacles can also talk, essentially that's kind of there. It talks about, well, I could do it this way or I could do it that way. So like I said, with the insecticides, you could go chemicals that you buy down at Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. Or you could go more of a natural path type of way. You don't want to spread these types of chemicals in your garden. You just choose not to do that. So there's 2 ways we could go about it. Yeah, we could, I'm not a gardener, so I'm just like pulling things that I think would work. If you don't want to do chemicals of a natural type, or even, harmful chemicals, you could do something in terms of just like, what do you put in the soil? So there's certain, I think, compost mix. I could be wrong. Do not quote me. But again, it's just an analogy anyway. But there's certain things that you can put on the ground of the soil that deter certain insects or vermin from coming near your plants. There's always not a certain way. There's different steps that you can take going forward. Yeah, it's like what do you call that? Oh, I can't think of the word, but I wish. It's like a network, like a tree branch, or like roots in a tree. The tree is here. It's a solid trunk, right? Here, let's use one finger, right? But then underneath, you've got all these different roots that feed into this one thing. So that's not exactly the best visual, but that's kind of what's coming across in my mind right now. So as an outcome, there will be more work to do. Pentacles, there will be maybe more financial obligations that you have. You move from an ace, just an investment, to now maybe you as a silent partner, or even a not so silent partner, you make that initial investment in the business, and then a few months or so down the road, maybe the business takes off, or maybe there's a certain financial decision to do. Well, we need to rearrange staff here, so we're thinking of letting this person go, and then we'll hire this person, and just like, you might be privy to those decisions, even if you're not making them yourself, okay? So that's kind of what I'm getting there. As the overall, in terms of love, they're like, love! I'm like, okay, hold on. In terms of love, where do we go from here, Because again, I feel that whether there's a child involved, children, babies involved or not, if you get to the point of union or severing, because in some cases you're severing, but whatever you're doing in terms of love, what's next? And then you're really like consulting with someone. Now, there's a single person here. Some of you, this is like consulting with lawyers, or consulting with, especially if this is like a divorce or a separation, consulting with an outside source. If this is about bringing you and someone together, Cancer, yeah, I think it's the same thing, but not with an outside source. I think this is you and your partner coming together and saying, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to take a stab at this love situation. We're going to take a stab at making our situation official. What do you think we should do? And then you say they say their piece, and then they say, okay, Cancer, now what do you think? And then you say your piece, and you kind of, weigh it out as this guy's sort of showing you. He's juggling these 2 pentacles. You both weigh out your options. You weigh out the pros and cons. And I feel that you come to a unanimous, well, not that you will, but the aim is to come to a unanimous, agreeable decision between 2 people. Okay? Now, in terms of what that could mean, moving in together, moving into a different city, even being official. What do we call ourselves? You know, in this day and age, a lot of people don't want to call themselves anything. And that's not a knock. That's just the way it is. So some people, you're in a relationship, but you're not committed in the traditional sense. So you might label yourselves, or you might call yourselves ethically non-monogamous. Yeah. You might, and like I said before on my channel, I've known a couple of people, they're together a long time. They might be married and they don't live together. And to some people that doesn't compute, but it makes sense to the two people experiencing it. So you guys are like thinking of, or you're deciding on those types of things, okay? Relationship status, how do we define ourselves? How do we present ourselves in society as a married couple, but we keep two separate homes? It's possible, especially if you got money. That's possible. Now, your overall energy for mid-August Cancer is the Devil card. Ooh, scary. It's not. That's a joke. Major Arcana card for Capricorn. So some of you might be dealing with a Capricorn. You've got 2 pentacles here, so maybe that's true, but it does not have to be, obviously. But here we are. Overall, I think this is linked mostly to that 9 of Swords energy, and sort of, you know, your Cancer, you're a water sign. None of the water signs can help themselves when it comes to worry and anxiety. Not to say you're all plagued with anxiety and depression or anything like that, but you tend, as water signs, to really get hung up on the details, get hung up on the day by day, the play by play of the thing. You know, you get very attached to what your reality is showing you. And the Devil is the not a manipulator of reality, but manipulates perspectives, yeah, of reality. You know, you could take it right to the biblical understanding of this card. That serpent in the Garden of Eden was a manipulator. He manipulated the reality of what he knew it was. Adam and Eve didn't really know, or what they knew was what God told them, and then he came along and slithered in there right after. It was like, you guys know that shit was a lie, right? You guys know that apple over there is going to taste amazing, right? You know, he manipulated that. So there's that there, you know, for those who are not necessarily religious, because I'm not myself. But that's basically what's going on here. So again, I feel that some of you are not seeing something play out in reality. It's not coming about as quick as you would like. You know, the aces are just seedlings. They're planted. They don't just sprout up overnight. It takes time to develop. It takes time to take root. It takes time to grow. So in that time between you seeing a little flower or a little piece of greenery stick out from the dirt, in between now and whenever that moment is, you're very worried. You are very much feeling like all is lost, doomsday, there's no sunshine, really like god awful, because you can see, look at these two people. They're tied away from each other, so they would believe that their pain or that their circumstances are all their own. They don't recognize the person behind them. They don't recognize that they are not alone in their worry, but then they also have their heads buried, or their eyes averted from even looking around to see what they're faced with. So there's in some senses a blinders situation going on here for you, where you're not being realistic, okay, in your expectations. Maybe again, if you've planted a seed today, you should not expect to see growth tomorrow. Literally, seed in the ground, seed in the dirt is not going to grow tomorrow. You're not going to see growth. It might be growing underneath the surface of the dirt, of the soil, away from your capability of observation, right? Give it 5 days, give it 2 weeks, give it however long. Let it naturally come up. And maybe that's the other thing, you know, that whole thing of, you know, child and anxious and not knowing, and or a union pending on child, on a birth or on a pregnancy, you know, maybe there's something there about that. I don't want to explore that too much because it would extend this reading beyond what I would like it to be. But there's something there that maybe, you know, and that happens, you know. You take a pregnancy test, you or your partner, Cancer, or somebody in your life takes a pregnancy test. The first time it comes up negative. So now we're thinking, oh, no baby. And then, you know, 2-3 weeks go by and there's still no menstrual cycle, and then you take a test again, still negative. Then you wait 1 day later and boom, the test would have been positive. So it's like that. Like someone might be experiencing that. You don't think you're pregnant because you took a pregnancy test, and then you go to the doctors 3 weeks from now, a month from now, you're not showing, you know, you don't feel, quote unquote, feel pregnant, and maybe you actually do get your period. That happens too. But your doctor is like, oh, your test came back for positive on the pregnancy, you're pregnant. And it's like crazy, you know? So I'm gonna stop because I said I would, because I don't wanna go down that path because it's super specific. Cancer, that is your reading for mid-August. If you liked it, like button is down below. You can also leave a comment down below. Let me know how this resonated in your life. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. Let other people know you like watching my stuff and you think I'm pretty cool. And even if you don't think I'm cool, you just like what I said, that's also a good reason to share. And of course, you can subscribe to this channel if you are not already subscribed. The number keeps going up. I keep meeting cool people. I'm having a good time. If you want to share in that vibe, subscribe and do all that other stuff you're allowed to do here on YouTube, okay? Cancer, I will be back in a few weeks to do your September reading and then your mid-September and all that good stuff. For now, until I decide I'm done doing YouTube readings, I guess. There will also be a live in mid-September. I announced it in Leo season why I'm doing these live mids or lives in the middle of the month. It's for the zodiac I'm doing birthday readings for. So Virgo is next. They're going to be in mid-September, and then on after them it's Libra, Scorpio, and so on and so forth until I come back around to you guys in July in 2020. Now, the live for Virgo, you're welcome to come. You're welcome to hang out in the chat, but it will be a tarot reading specifically for Virgos for their birthday season. If you want to show up, cool. If you don't, that's also cool. It's a free world. We can all do what we like. Yeah? All right, Cancer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.